Alright, you wololo addicts. I have yet another game for you. It is actually a Chap Daddy game that he played over here with Howdies with four guys that we don't know. Not a part of our wololo group. Would love to have them if they ever wanted to join, but do not personally know them. Looks like Azja, Parakuk, Kemmeow, Arcturus. Looks like some Indian names there. Little Korean, except for Arcturus. That seems almost Spanish. So we're over here on Golden Heights. Let me get all the players out here. It is a 3v3. We have Azja over here in the corner closest to the market. And you see the Roost player already picking off the deer. That is going to be big later. Make this a little more user-friendly. We have Howdies in the pocket, nice and safe, and we have Chap Daddy over here by the water. It looks like he's actually gone for the deli. I have not seen Chap Daddy play the deli. These are HRE main for the most part. Howdies able to play nearly every civ. Coming in with the French. Astya also, oh no, also green flag, but this is the Ottomans. Good for their military production. Versus the Chinese in blue. Ottomans in red in the pocket. And Rus down here next to the market in the yellow. So I like this Rus position. That the Kremlin that he has, he's going to be able to drop that forward if he wants. He can protect a lot of these golds, get a TC out here on these deer if he wants to be super aggressive with it, and end up with a really nice forward base. And what that does is it actually protects his back base. So now anytime that they got to come forward, either they have to straight up ignore that front base, allowing him to continue to boom out here with all these resources, or they have to go through that front base where it'll be fortified with a Kremlin in order to get to his main base. So, Rus, very, very strong civ nowadays, coming in with a school of cavalry for Howdies. Chap Daddy not going up yet. Let's see if he's got any competition. It looks like yellow's going up. Oh, man, building that Kremlin nice and tight, close to his main base. Interesting to see. Maybe he wants to make sure that stone there stays safe. Maybe he thinks that as long as he walls this area off, he won't be attacked. But I would have loved to see it further forward. Some wood walls funneling people into that Kremlin here. Protect your whole trade line. Allowing this red player over here to potentially go into some trade and go into trade yourself, which is very good for these team games. It can make all the difference. You and this red player could team up on Austria here and really make a difference in this fight. If you can just take him out early, do enough damage to him, then Chap Daddy and Howdies would have to come in and support him for the rest of the game. I'm not seeing Chap Daddy's age up. I'm wondering how he's doing. Interesting. He's so high up in the wood department. I'm wondering what he just spent a ton of it. What is he doing with all that? Seeing as he doesn't have to pay for upgrades, I'm very confused. Oh, wait, that's it. Yep, 3 fishing strips. That's where it is. Alright, that is not bad at all. And it doesn't look like the opponent's going for fish at all. That barbican out there on the water really could have made all the difference. And look at that. Chap Daddy stealing all the sheep. That is insane. Almost losing the scout. Pulling away with, oh my gosh, how many is that? 13 sheep. And I will say, they did tell me this was a very long game, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit through here, through these beginning parts. We got the Sultanate Trade Network coming in for orange. Interesting not to see the Rus go for a second TC right out the gate. Twin Minaret Madrasa coming in for this Ottoman player. And I'm wondering if China will go Song Dynasty. Looks like he's queuing up a lot of villagers. So that's kind of like the sign of a new player is throwing down tons and tons of villagers at the very beginning and not realizing that you have the resources to age up or even go song. That's kind of what they like. Chap Daddy going for Tower of Victory. HRE main is thinking infantry out the gate, saying, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make all of my infantry super fast. Interesting strategy from this orange player to protect his wood, putting it all the way in the corner. Slow down here a little bit. And going for the early stone wall out front. Love to see it, but this is not going to be enough. This knight here is going to be able to take that with a spearman and the villager if he's careful. If he's careful. All right, yeah, good move going for the villager first. And so now orange is going to have used up a lot of stone and not made the progress that he needed to with this. And these villagers are going to come out. Oh my gosh, and make it a nightmare to finish this wall. That is a smart move from this Roos player. Looks like Chap Daddy has come out onto the water, taking down the dock of the Ottoman player, actually. The Chinese didn't go for water. Ottoman went for water. It's interesting to see this Chinese player. He did go song. He did indeed go song. So he is going for the villager boom, but I would have loved to see it with 2 TCs, and I would have loved to, even more to see it with a dog. Howdy's already out here with a good grouping of knights. I don't know if he caught a raid earlier. But he's eyeballing those gold lines. He's looking around. He's like, yeah, I know where I need to go. Yep. And, oh, heading back home. Interesting to see those knights headed back. But I do think that he will immediately send, oh, and the Ottoman player knows. The Ottoman player knows and immediately goes and puts some spearmen out there. Knights do take out the villager, putting up the walls, but man, he's about to lose some expensive... Oh, and he gets away with 1 HP. 1 HP. That is nice. Good to see there. I would have loved to see this knight just branch off real quick. Play games with these spearmen. If you can pull them away, you could get a lot more Vil picks there. Especially with that massive knights you got coming up, right? Oh my gosh, there's so many. That one right there needs to head home, though. Does not have the chivalry upgrade yet. Looking in on what the Roos player's doing. Going for a lot of production buildings, but not the second TC like I was talking about. Ottoman going for Sapai to burn things down. Oh my gosh, and HDs is going to find this to the second TC base for this Roos player. He is about to take out a ton of villagers. This is so nice for the French. And this, honestly, really puts this Roos player on the back foot. He is not going to be okay. And if he's not careful, that one spearman is not enough to take out these knights. Oh, and he turns back. He could have come in. Yes, there he goes. He's just resetting his charge. He sees those gold villagers and says, yep, I'm going to get rid of all of this. That is excellent to see. Doing massive damage against this Roos player. While the Roos player is fighting the Ottomans out on the front. Excellent. Excellent game. And how D sees the red spears come in and say, nope, I'm going right back over to your base. Actually, it looks like he's got him set to come back home. Set to come back home. But man, what an engagement. Well done, Haldiz. I know it takes a lot of APM, but this is the point where I would probably splinter off 2 groups of knights. Put one completely in view of these spearmen. Make sure that he can see that other group of knights and circle around with the others. Oh, going for the the Imperial Armory. I was going to try to say that, but I realized that was going to be a mistake. Roos player coming in, fighting back the Ottoman advance. And walling in the back of his base to stop Haladiz's raids. Lots of wood wasted. Not getting those deer that he wanted. He wanted to drop a TC right here. Drop for berry bushes, deer, and stone. Instead, he's using all of that wood on a wood wall in the back of his base. Haldiz on the other side. Looking really good with the gold villagers. Chap Daddy doing an awesome job. This is his pond. Nobody else is here. Patrolling with ships. Looking good. Aging up with the House of Learning. And he is also coming in for some raids with these Ghazi Raiders. Ghazi Raiders are really aggravating to play against when you're playing a Knight Civ. They are not quite as good against the archers, but we'll see if Chap Daddy has the presence of mind to avoid these spearmen right here. Nope. Okay. Not paying attention, but that's okay. Oh, no. Takes a turn into the spearmen. Hey, it's tough. It's tough out there to do all the things that you have to do all at once. I'm wondering where Haldese's army is. Pin to come over here. Oh, and the attack move into the deer. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. He saw Chap Daddy scouting over there and knows that there's going to be some juicy vills. Juicy vills right here in the back. So hopefully these Chukunu... The Chukunu really can't do that much damage. Hopefully he doesn't stop them and lets them go on because... Oh, yes, he's going to take out this Imperial official as well. And be able to hit the stone line. Very nice raid once again for Haldese. Now, the thing is, the China Plater does not need more stone. He really needs that food, though. Really struggling for the food. I might would have stayed in on that attack. But, yep, sees the spears coming. That's the huge advantage. Haldese does a very good job of keeping a scout with his knights. I have the problem of raiding with only night vision and having to make a lot of guesses. Oh, and dodges the spearman exactly like he needs to. And this is what I mean. It's like this is the point where you branch off into two groups and make it a living nightmare to keep track of these guys. But at the same time, he's doing this, and there's 7 villagers idle in the back. And to be honest, if he really wanted to kill those villagers, he could. This is enough knights to take down 5 spearmen. 5 knights is enough. 6 knights is enough to take down these spearmen. And Chap Daddy coming in to finish it. Oh my gosh, splitting into 2 groups, going for the villagers that went the other way as Haldese pulls the spearmen out in front. And going for the quick surround and attack move. Attack move. Ah! Does not want to fight under that TC fire. Great teamwork from this duo here. Red not helping his teammate out, but he knows that these horsemen are just going to come around and end up taking this down. So finally getting rid of the spearmen, and let's see how many knights he lost. Loses 1 knight to wipe up all of those spearmen, but instead of attacking the mill, I would have loved to see them dive that TC, dive the wood line. I want to see what's happening over here. This Ottoman player does not look like he's hanging in there very well. He keeps building his base further and further back, like he's expecting something bad to happen. And let me tell you, brother, this Rus player over here, he's also not doing very well. So it has turned into a 2v2, where the 2 guys on the left side of the map aren't, and a 1v1, where the 2 guys on the left side of the map aren't really helping their teams. They're really just kind of stumbling about, slowing things down. Haldese back in on yet another wood line. Killing even more villagers. I would love to see his vill count kill for the day. Unfortunately, that is not a statistic that they allow us to have. Let's see here. 30 kills. 30 kills. And I know that 5 of those were spearmen. But ultimately, I mean, I'm going to assume that these are all knights lost. 8 knights. And like there were 5 spears lost, right? And I'm wondering how many Chukunu also died. So let's say 5 of those as well. 20 vills. I really do think that he has taken down 20 villagers with these night raids, and that is fantastic for him. Chap Daddy coming in with 9, and I know he did some damage over here with the docks. So this Haldese Chap Daddy team is looking very strong. I know they've been practicing a lot of team games together. China over here with more idle villagers. Interesting to see what's going on. Building a second stone wall, trying to get that to work out. And fighting with spears into archers. Needs to be sure to take down those archers. And pulling his horsemen back. Go forward. These spearmen don't last long versus archers. Honestly, I would love to see more villagers in on building that stone wall. At the same time, want to see what Haldiz is doing. Want to see what Chap Daddy's doing. Chap Daddy out here raiding China's second TC. Excellent to see. Excellent to see. I wonder if he can get it down. I don't think he can with just 3. I don't think he can with just 3. A few more might could have done it, but too many villagers in that TC. So yeah, we'll see if they can finally get this wall up. If they can, that'd be fantastic. But here's the problem with the frickin' Rus. They just have to send out these militia, and you have to take your army and run. Run as fast as you can. The best way to kill these things is to run from them. It's an absolute nightmare trying to fight them, though. These guys are strong. And they're basically free. Each ticket costs 50 wood and 50 food, and that is really not enough to deter use of spamming this button, especially when your TCs are this close together. You can just use them to raid into your enemy's base. Bit aggravating for the Ottoman player, and I know he's about to not have a fun time, but he really did have that Rus player on the back foot, panic throwing down a wooden wall, and all of the militia die. All of the militia die, but Orange's army's dead because he didn't keep running. Like, that's the thing. You have to keep running. Haldi's coming out for more night raids. I'm curious to see where he is headed with these knights. Nowhere right now. Nowhere right now. Does not get the warrior monk, and this is actually the Rus wall coming forward, making sure that this Ottoman player cannot finish his walls. So this will be interesting to see what happens with this spare villager out here. He'll probably just die. But it really has been the war of the walls on this left side, while Chap Daddy and Haldiz raid the living crap out of China and Ottoman on the other side. This poor Chinese player has lost so many villagers, but with 2 TCs, he's going to be able to bring it back. I'm wondering if Haldiz has opted for a second TC. No, not yet. Chap Daddy over here on water does not need a second TC. Still hasn't gone for one anyway, and is trying to trade. I'm wondering where he's trading to. Let's pick out this market right quick and see. Still, yep, trying to trade to the corner. It looks like things over here in this corner are not looking good, though, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. I would love to see Haldiz jump in, just throw a market down back here with one of these villagers he's got, as honestly, that trade distance from the edge of the water over would be just about enough, and honestly, Haldiz, in return, could trade over to Chap Daddy's dock if he wanted to. China trying to throw down walls to stop all of these raids, but I think let's find Haldiz's army. Up here in the front, already has a forward position. And that's the interesting thing about these walls. It does not protect many resources, any resources at all. It just protects his main base. Boar and deer and gold all in front of the wall, not behind it. So I have to give this wall a big old F. Forward castle from the Ottoman player. But again, not protecting too much. Would have loved to see that castle come a little further forward, protect that sacred site to make the game a little easier for them to play. This Great Wall of China has done nothing. And they're going to have to invest even more into it to get anything out of it. Haldiz on the other end, he gets a discount from all of these keeps, so he really does get an advantage from placing more and more down. Because that means you can place more and more production around them. French are the only civ that I would even consider building a back base castle with, just because the discounts are fantastic. And then you got a nice little safe place to retreat back to. Taking an engagement of spears. Oh man, not looking good. Straight into the spears. That one's gotta hurt a little bit. Yes, I do believe this is enough knights to kill this many spears, especially if... Is that right? He's an age up? Nope, red is an age up on Haldiz. He can wipe this army up. He can indeed wipe this army up, and that'll give him a little bit more breathing room. French Knights are absolutely insane. It really is for all those smooth brain people out there. It's like, I just want to make one unit and go. I'm not judging. Why? Because it works. That's why they do it. It's because it works. But look, talking about smooth brain, Red out here with a whole second army that could have helped with those knights, and does nothing with them. In the meantime, Blue, no army whatsoever, spamming out villagers, but he doesn't even have any production. Actually, he has two barracks. I'm curious what his queue looks like. Nothing but villagers. Not helping his team whatsoever. So I gotta say, this China player here has lost a lot of villagers. He's probably a little frazzled, but he's kind of throwing this game for this team over here. Yellow, on the other hand, like for a Rus player, he has not played very well. He's got a nice mass now. But man, and the only thing that's really saving him is this Ottoman player on the Chap Daddy Haldi's team. Not doing too well. He doesn't have any forward production, idle military. That's not enough military to beat off this. Oh, that's too many knights. That's way too many knights. And that's the problem. This is going to be the soft underbelly. I see how Deez is going for walls this way, expecting the raids to come in from the front, but he has a castle there. It's really that he needs walls this way to protect for what's about to come through this Ottoman base. Maybe he can buy him some time with this stone wall. And that's the thing, right? If this army here was being aggressive, was in contact with the enemy, yeah, these are spears, they're scary. I don't like throwing horsemen and knights into them, but the knights will kill them. This isn't that much, and this army right here could totally prevent this stone wall from going up. But as soon as that stone wall goes up, he's going to have to wait longer and get siege. And do I see a siege workshop? I do not. I do not see a siege workshop. So this is going to take even longer, and I'm wondering if he even has what he needs to do field engineering. But I'm going to leave that be for a little bit to watch Haldi's raiding the poor Chinese again. Oh my gosh, this is painful to watch. And that's not going to be enough space in that TC for all of those villagers. And honestly, Haldiz is going to see all these spears and say, I don't care. I'll still take this fight. You're trying to age up? Yep, all of these villagers are dead now. Oh no. Poor China has been taking the front end of this to the face all game. And it has been eating him up. I'm wondering what his pop space is at. 51 vills. 51 villagers. That is not very... And they're all idle right now. 100% idle eco versus Chap Daddy's 80 villagers and fishing boats. He does have fishing boats. That does make a big difference. But Haldi's also over here with 75 vills. Very, very nice. Chap Daddy pulling out the elephants. It's nice to see these guys retreat when they start getting surrounded, you know. They really are like tanky cav archers that are very slow. These Janissaries out here. I will say the Janissaries are probably what can shut down this Knight and Ghulam raid. But the problem is they're just so slow. And Haldiz just says, alright, well fine, all of your army is up here in blue space, and I just took down his second TC and killed a bunch of villagers, and they're still idle. So what is he going to do? He's going to run over here into the red space. He's going to run and make sure, one, that they're not trading, and two, that red doesn't have any food vills left. Oh my gosh, and he's going to come across these over here on the wood line. Doesn't even have to see it. The knights just attack anyway, and oh my gosh, this is going to be so many villagers down. This is not a good time for red. He is having a very bad day. Haldiz with a very effective raiding scheme, and needs to see this right here with the wall, and does. Takes care of all the problems from all sides. The Janissaries aren't going to matter if they're nowhere nearby, and just encircles the tower, burns it down, is going all out for this. Taking down the Great Bombard right when it could be useful. Oh my gosh. Isn't going to be too afraid of this Spearman mass, but it doesn't even have to engage into it. I'm wondering if he finds these farms over here, he could create absolute chaos. Yes, he might throw this whole night push, but he could easily get rid of every single one of these villagers. See what's happening over here. Ottomans holding out against the Rus, but the thing is, the Rus might get hit in the back here if Haldiz figures out that there isn't much in that backside and make that wood wall look like nothing. I mean, he built it because Haldiz was his absolute nightmare, and he's totally justified in the decision to make it, but it's not going to make a difference now. This is too many knights, and oh my gosh, gonna find the back eco, and really, this has been a villager slaughter. This whole game has been an absolute villager slaughter. I'm glad that these guys have gone for multiple TCs because Haldiz has been an absolute savage, killing villagers left and right. And then Chap Daddy coming in from the high wall and just tag teaming in. Just whenever Haldiz has all of the army's attention, Chap Daddy just comes in from the other side. It's like, oh yeah, you forgot about me, didn't you? And it's getting to be such a good game. Haldiz coming out with the Rams, going to start taking down castles, going to start making real pushes, because he knows at this point they have the easy eco advantage. And the only thing that I tend to do that I would love to see more often is trade at this point. You might as well start a little bit of trade. Just from Haldiz's perspective, just simply because you're going to start running out of these forward golds. That one's starting to get low. That one's about half. Okay, that's not so bad. Actually, you know what? Haldiz, never mind. I like your strategy. You're doing great on gold right now. You do not need to transition at all. Keep the pressure on, baby, because this has been so much fun to watch. And the poor Janissaries here are having to sit all the way in the backfield just to defend against another contingent of knights that are going after villagers left, right, and center. More Janissaries over here guarding a dead TC, having to protect poor Blue. And, oh my gosh, are these knights going to get through? Are these knights going to get through and create absolute chaos in the wood line? Engaging into the Janissaries. That probably was a good move, but, you know, I like to see a force in the field. It forces a response, right? As long as there's a force out there, they have to keep these units back there. Also making a push in on the front. It says, nope, this is my main army. This is where I'm pushing. I'm wondering where those Rams went. Ottoman player looking quite strong up here in the front. Great Bombard Castle. That one's going to be a little hard to push. So it looks like this red player is really starting to come into his own. And then, again, exactly as I said before, oh wait, you forgot about me. Here's Chap Daddy coming in to crush the Chinese player. China completely spear attack on the... Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Chap Daddy has way too many units here. And China's still in age 3. Chap Daddy is now an Imperial. Yep, this is the finishing blow right here. These elephants are about to rip down everything China has. And the best thing that he's going to be able to do is just make a back base. Because there's nothing that he can do. Haldiz holding down the front with a castle. Let's see, that's the thing. The Ottoman player really has come into his own at this point. He is, but the problem is that he has had to absolutely babysit. Heck, he's got 4 Mangonels sitting here in the back. He needs to get those moving forward. He needs to make a push into Haldiz. Because honestly, his China player is dead. The only way that he wins this is that he sends a force out to hurt Haldiz, and then circles back around with reinforcements to deal with this Chap Daddy army. But it looks like, yes, the red player's the only other one's also an Imperial, which really does help. Really does help him defend against all of this. Yeah, he's going to try to complete his wall, because he's sick and tired of French raids. Completely understand that. Chap Daddy absolutely ripping down this blue base. Saying fuck it with the castle. Yeah, no point for that castle. That was China giving up. If he built that castle back here with these farms, at least he would be able to protect his teammate. But It's not good to be in the retreating position. Now this army here will be enough to beat back this Chap Daddy army, but I'm wondering, where are the reinforcements from Chap Daddy? Oh my gosh! And Orange surrenders! Their teammate surrenders! Oh, as Haldiz is in the Roos base. Holy cow, what a mess. Haldiz has been fighting off Red and murdering Blue, and Chap Daddy's come in for the killing blow, but now Red has just rebuffed Chap Daddy's army, and Orange has just quit on this side. So now it is a 3 versus 2, baby. What is up with this game? Just when I thought that this 3-player team was about to call it Dunzo, should not be playing anymore, kind of rude to keep playing, it turns into a 2v3. And Howdy's still on the front foot says, I don't care, I'll take down all of you. French Knights can't be stopped. French Knights are, I think they're in my nightmares now. I really do think that they're in my nightmares. Because once French really get going into this Imperial Age, an easy Arbitratrier switch kills all of these spearmen. And your knights just swallow crossbowmen. So it really turns into a real nightmare. And here's Red, once again, with just this massive Warhammer slow as shit army that he is swinging around like crazy. It's like anywhere that he goes suddenly is okay. But there's too many fires to put out. There's way too many fires to put out as Chap Daddy comes in on the other side with another hammer straight into the Red base. As the Red army's too far forward, he just moved all the siege that he's going to need a moment way too far forward. And he's about to get screwed up. It looks like Blue's out of this game. Yeah, Blue is completely out of this game. He isn't even doing anything anymore. It looks like he's trying to make Nest of Bees just to be a pain, but ooh, is going to be a bit of a nightmare with the few spearmen in the back. But yeah, coming in fast and hard, straight into the Red base. And Red trying to make a push. Trying to make a push on Haldiz, but Haldiz already has a castle. Haldiz already has a castle. Yellow and Red over here coming for Haldiz as Chap Daddy fights out on the front. Mass siege coming in, and Red is about to have some real problems with wood. Actually, 6k wood. He could rebuild this. He needs to start building immediately in the back. But I don't know what has happened to all of his villagers. He's not paying attention. He hasn't realized his villagers are dying like crazy right now. He's down to 12 villagers. And I'm telling you guys, when you lose all those villagers, that's when the game's over. When you get the vills, it is game over, no matter what. And these Magnos are just going to eat through these spearmen. Even just going for archers, because he knows that he's spamming spearmen. This is a huge bank, though, and they do have a huge army up here with Haldiz, but I'll tell you, Haldiz has the Red Keep. This thing is insane, and I think that Haldiz's defense is just going to be way better than this push has steam left in it. Look how many, look how many of these Janissaries are dead. There is nothing left behind this Ottoman army, and yep, there goes the siege. There goes the siege. The push is dead. He's looked back at home and says, I have nothing. Chap Daddy has fucked up my day. I have nothing. That's very well played, guys. Great final defense on Haldiz's side. Absolutely murdered all the villagers on the map. Was absolutely insane in that regard. And then Chapman always coming in with the sucker punches. Really liking these deli. This deli civ. Whew. Nice to watch the Nest of Bees go off. Like, this is cool. I'm glad that there's a massive nest of bees here. That's actually awesome. It is actually murdering Chapman's party. But, little too late. This is so little, so late. Like, this is not... He's never going to be able to recover. It seems like he has tons of resources and like he could just pull it back. But he's making spearmen like crazy. And he has no villagers left. Zero. Zero villagers left. So, he can't... Wait. Ah, he has zero active villagers. Got it. So he's just building out his ass. Siege workshops. He's going to run out of wood so fast. He needs to get his TCs back up if he's going to do anything. And that's the thing. Once you drop that low in villager count against that kind of eco, you'll never win. There's zero chance of you winning. I think Chapdaddy's deleting villagers now because he had like 80 a moment ago and he just deleted down to 50. Either that or he's sent them forward to make castles. Gonna come up, mop up blue again. That's the thing. You know, zombie players. This dude's dead. But I appreciate the pluck, you know? It's like, alright, I know this is impossible, but just in case my teammates could somehow pull it out, I'm gonna try. And I like that. It's like, okay, Roos, feeling pretty good. Well, that's the thing. The Roos economy wasn't ever really that strong. Oh, where'd he go? He does have near 50 vills still. I just know that they're about to run out of resources over on this side of the map. Red coming in with a big base right next to Haldiz's. I don't know if he could make one last giant push inside the base to Haldiz, it'd be fine, but like if they're gonna win this, they have to do massive damage to Haldiz's economy, and I just don't see that happen. Yeah, moving into trade now, because like literally the gold's running out of the map. They have so much. Like, yeah, that's an unstoppable economy. You're not gonna win against this, but absolutely crazy game. It's nice seeing it turn all of a sudden into a 2v3 at the critical moment when like the first time blue died. That was a lot of fun. No, I do believe this game is over. Very nice. Alright.